Hey guys, Data Hombre here with another video. It's another quick guerrilla style based tutorial on how to upgrade your Mac Mini late 2014 edition with a cool little upgrades which can help this guy get a boost in performance and make it kind of like still capable and relevant for 2023, January of 2023, which is the time of recording of this video. I think it's important to be able to do stuff like that in today's world of, faster, more expensive Macs. We should still be able to leverage our existing hardware and push it to, higher limits. So basically, what this little unit can do is it can actually have an NVMe drive installed inside. Uh, it would replace the original Apple solid state solution that's inside. And it would go at X2 speeds, PCIe X2 speeds, which can theoretically reach, I think, around 800 megabytes per second for reads and writes. So you'll see at the end of the video that we can kind of like benchmark it pretty close to those numbers, which is awesome. And for somebody who's looking to get into Macs maybe for the first time and they're on a budget and they're looking to get something that's affordable but still could be, doing quite, I guess, intensive tasks as far as normal usage should be concerned. Stuff like, browsing the internet, watching YouTube, uh, spreadsheet, Google Docs, all that kind of stuff. Maybe even light video editing. This guy is like perfect. So just to give you some details about the specs of this unit. So this one is the highest spec Mac Mini late 2014, and in this line it comes with a dual core i7 processor clocked at 3 gigahertz. And if I flip it over the box, you'll see some more details here. So it comes with gigabit Ethernet, HDMI out, and it's got actually two built-in Thunderbolt 2 ports, which is quite useful if you're attaching anything like external storage. Thunderbolt 2 is pretty fast still, even today. 4 USB 3 connectors, built-in SD card slot, so pretty sweet. Nothing to complain about. I should also say that this one has 16 gigabyte of built-in onboard memory, and it's got a 1 terabyte Fusion drive, which is basically kind of like a blend of like a very small solid state stick and a spinning hard disk. So without further ado, I will show you how to do this upgrade and how to boost the performance. Basically, you remove these torque screws and this Wi-Fi um, antenna, essentially, which is also hiding the internals, can be popped off. And just got to be careful not to stress this little cable. It's still attached to the motherboard. So what do we see inside? I'm particularly interested in this little piece here. So this is actually a custom Apple solid state drive that's somewhere along the lines of like a proprietary NVMe used in Mac computers of this era. So Apple underneath it kind of like utilized the spinning drive. This is a 5200 2.5 inch regular spinning hard drive. And together in tandem, they call this a fusion drive. So what happens here is that the NVMe part is used for sort of like caching files that are frequently used by Mac OS. And then for like the majority of stuff, still you're kind of using the larger spinning drive that's located underneath. So this is a very small size drive. I think it's at around 128 gigabytes in size. So not a lot of data is going to be kind of like traveling through here that you are actually like storing. Most of it is going to be residing on the spinning portion. But it was kind of like for the era, this kind of like clever way of utilizing the NVMe technology to give you some sort of a performance boost, because these drives were very expensive and the technology was very young back in those days. However, if you pop this guy out and you install a little adapter that could actually bring a real NVMe drive here instead of this proprietary Apple solution, you could bypass the whole fusion concept and actually have a very fast modern NVMe stick in here that's going to work on its own to bring pretty good performance at PCIe X4 levels. And then the spinning disk could be used as some sort of a secondary backup drive. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. Alrighty, so this little guy here is the NVMe adapter. So it will actually replace this existing concept here with this little ribbon cable. All of that will come out. The Apple stick will come out, and this will pop on top, and a regular size NVMe stick will go in here, and it will be secured with a screw to kind of like be enclosed, to be attached safely, and everything will go in as one piece. So I will get to it, and we'll then explore after the installation what installing macOS will look like from that point on, and what kind of performance we're getting inside macOS Monterey after it has been installed. All right, guys, so the existing adapter came out, and I think that this will, for the most part, likely be a one-way ticket, because this thing was glued on, and to pop it off, you really need to like use force and bend, and this is totally bent out of shape, maybe even a little cracked. So I don't think that there's coming back to this unless you really have some sort of a fancy method of ungluing this that I'm not aware of. But for me, really, with the force that I needed to use to make this unstick, I think that there's no going back to the Apple way unless I get a new original adapter. But in any case, I will proceed with the NVMe adapter installation. All right, guys, so the NVMe adapter is in. It's secured with the original Apple screw on the left side, and this little bracket is securing it here with two additional security screws. So it's like tightly put in place, safely connected. So we're good to go. We're going to pop in the NVMe stick in there now. All right, so look at that, guys. Perfect installation, perfect fit. The NVMe adapter and stick are all inside and installed, and it looks beautiful. If I didn't tell you what went on in here. You'd probably think that this was original Apple concept, but it's not. And it'll actually boost performance quite nicely, which we'll see in a little bit. I'm going to close this guy up now and boot it up and install macOS. Hey guys, welcome back. So now that I have everything connected to this lovely mess here that you see on my desk, I can do a quick power on test to see if this concept worked. So I have macOS Monterey installed on this bootable USB key. So what I'll do at this point is turn on the machine and hold the Option key on the keyboard to invoke the boot menu, and at that point I will be able to select booting from the USB drive and proceed with Monterey installation. So let's see if that actually works. Waiting, and there it goes. I can already tell that the NVMe stick has been detected properly because it's called macOS system, and I use this NVMe drive and in another Mac. It was actually the Mac Pro beforehand. That's why it's already properly formatted and detected by the Mac. So what I can do at this point is simply go to select the Mac OS. There we go. USB key and go from there. It takes a few moments for the USB drive to like load up macOS installer. So we'll just give it a few moments and I'll be back once it's fully loaded. All right, guys, so it looks like the USB stick booted up nicely the Monterey recovery menu. So from here, what I usually like to do is go to the disk utility and make sure that all of my drives show up properly. So if I look here, I can see that the NVMe stick shows up. And like I said, this has an old macOS installation from my Mac Pro. But this is the NVMe stick that I've recently installed, and I can verify that by looking at the PCI Express connection here that's reported and validating that my size of 1 terabyte is showing up. And this grayed out disk here, this is actually the SATA mounted spin drive that used to be the part of the old Fusion combo, and now it's showing up individually as a 1 terabyte drive, which is exactly what I wanted. So what I do from here is I erase, and since this is not an NVMe drive, I can go ahead and use the macOS extended journaled file system to format. Because in my opinion, there is no value in going APFS if you're not leveraging a solid state disk of some sort. So for the spinning drives, macOS Extended Journal is the way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and erase and let this do its thing. It'll take a few moments to complete. So there we go. It's erased and mounted correctly. So now that shows up as untitled. And over here, if I select the top of the tree of the NVMe PCI Express drive, I will do the same. I will select it, go ahead and erase. I will leave it with APFS. And since this is OS X Monterey and it is detecting an NVMe drive, The only thing available is APFS file system, so it's not even going to let you go for macOS extended file system or any other alternative. So I will name this Mac Mini HD and go ahead and erase. So let's see how that goes. It's taking a moment to complete. There we go, it's done. All right, guys, so if I exit the disk utility and come back in, it actually refreshes the view and shows everything correctly. So here's my PCIe NVMe Express volume and stick, 1 terabyte, and here's the SATA one, 1 terabyte as well. So at this point, I can exit out of here and go install macOS Monterey. And I should get an option to choose a drive, which I will be using. This is just taking a moment. I will read and agree to the Apple terms of service. So here are all the disks that are detected. This is the USB key, which I'm not interested in. The untitled is the SATA drive. I'm also not interested in that one as far as installing macOS goes. And the Mac Mini HD, that is the NVMe drive, and I will select that one and continue my installation on it. And as you can see, in about 19 minutes or so, it should be completed. And I will come back as soon as it's done. All right, guys, so the installation has been successfully completed. And if we take a closer look here, we'll see that I'm in macOS Monterey 12.6.2. You'll see the specs of my computer. And for the storage options, you'll see that I have my solid state PCI Express drive here. That's the NVMe stick, 1 terabyte. And here's the 1 terabyte SATA drive. And additionally, if we go to System Report, under NVMe Express, you'll see my NVMe show up. Okay. So the installation was a success, and we can also do a quick Blackmagic disk speed test to see how this drive performs. All right, so inside of the Blackmagic app, we're going to point our target drive to the NVMe stick, which is in my case Mac Mini HD. I'll go open. Looks like I have to point it to a writable directory. That's fine. And let's start the test and see how this thing performs. Yeah, so not too bad overall. Writes averaging at 720 megabytes per second and reads at averaging at around 762 megabytes per second. So yeah, quite a boost from where it was before. Well, there you go, guys. If you liked what you've seen here, if you like these kind of videos, please give it a like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye bye.